welcome to FreeThinkers Fireside, where we put the human and humanist one cozy chat at a time. My name is Helen, also known as Hell's Bells. So I have a little announcement to make before we start the show and bring my guest on. So I am excited to announce that I've joined the Creator Accountability Network. CAN is a nonprofit dedicated to reducing harassment and abuse through ethical education and a system of restorative accountability. I joined because I care about the safety and well-being of my community members. If you feel my behavior or content has harmed someone, please report it to CAN either via reporting form on their website, creatoraccountabilitynetwork.org, or via their hotline at 617-249-4255. They'll help make it right and avoid repeating that mistake in the future. CAN also needs volunteers from our communities to help with their work. So if you have skills you think would be helpful or time and a desire to help, please visit their website to find out how you can volunteer. Most importantly, get the word out to other creators who you think would be interested in getting credentialed. Help us build savior communities together. Okay, so did the thing, and now I'm going to bring on my guest, Skeptical Scott. Oh my goodness, I do not English well today. Alrighty, hi Scott. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Helen. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You know, I'm up here in Michigan, and we're getting a taste of the autumn, and I just love this time of year. It's getting crisp out there.
I'm very jelly.
Yeah, oh yeah, and of course it's back to school time. It's Labor Day weekend and coming up here, and I'm planning to get outside for sure.
Oh, okay, yeah. So like it's 6 degrees cooler, so it's like 89, 88. But the sun is changing, so it's kind of heading into fall time. So can I say that I'm excited? Kinda. my favorite time, because I do live in Florida, is between like October and May, because the weather is really beautiful and we do get some cooler weather this time of year. Like I can even have a fire pit and do kind of drinks kind of thing outside. So
well, I will join you around the fire right now. I've got my my whiskey drink here.
I'm drinking vodka lemonade.
All right. Well, I'm having a really extravagant Canadian club. Okay.
Ooh, I'm having platinum vodka, which is like, I think it's like $13 for like, their bigger bottles are like $17. I think the smaller ones are like 12 because I'm fancy like that. So
fancy like.
I'm actually off my game because I usually have wine, but there's no wine in my house right now. So
all right. Well, I'm supporting my Canadian friends just next to me. So
is Canadian Club a whiskey?
It's a whiskey, and it's very. Okay. It's some of the cheapest stuff. So I'm okay with that for sure.
For sure. Yeah. Okay. Then that's fine. I'm not a whiskey drinker. My husband is the bourbon whiskey drinker in this house.
Bourbon whiskey here.
Yeah. I am a vodka, wine, tequila person. So those are my drinks of choice. But no shade. You can like whatever you like.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Hey, I like margaritas at a Mexican restaurant too. So.
Margaritas are that's usually how I know if you're cool or not. I'll judge a restaurant, especially if they claim to have a good bar or is Mexican on their margaritas, because the margaritas suck. We got problems. Like you're not doing it right.
No, that totally makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why you go. And the nachos.
Oh yeah, and definitely nachos. So please tell the peoples who you are, what you do. Hey Scott, my other friend Scott that's in the audience. How does Scott sound? Because I can hear him fine through my earpods, but I know sometimes when it comes to the stream, it's not that great. So if you could be a bud and let me know how it's going, that'd be great. Anyway, tell the people who you are.
All right. Well, my name is Skeptical Scott, and then my background right now is a stretched out version of my logo. I have a podcast called Funny You Say That. And you know how when you hear something and you're like, it's funny you say that, like that's off, or that's weird, or maybe even a connection like, oh, it's funny you say that because I thought that too. And So that's where the name came from. It's at skeptical.com. But it's my second podcast. My first podcast was a little bit more public. This one I have to be a little bit more anonymous on because I'm digging right into the whole free thinking atheist lane that has just intrigued me for the last 10 years. So that's a little bit, and as far as what I do as my hobby and for fun. But as far as my job, I know a lot of listeners here can understand, depending on your job, it's a risk to say something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. For example, my twin brother is a federal worker. He works for the National Weather Service, and he can't say anything without, the threat of being fired,
Right.
And for me, I'm not too worried about that these days. But I'll just say it this way: I work with a lot of schools, and so it's been a busy time because the last 6 weeks, that's when schools want professional development, right?
Right.
I love it. I can't believe I get to work with schools all over the place. And that allows me to see how some schools operate when it comes to this Christian nationalism stuff too. So I just feel privileged to be able to hear from, administrators that are having to surf what parents are bringing and hearing. And you've probably seen some board meetings on TikTok.
Oh yeah, I have.
It can get ugly.
I'm very lucky that my kids graduate. My oldest is a college graduate, and my son is in the Army. So they're both out of school, which is really great because right now this. Not to turn this into an education conversation, but the Florida school system is shitty right now. So,
is it? Okay.
Well, it's because Moms of Liberty have took over a lot of the school boards, and Ron DeSantis is our governor, and there's been school choice issues, and we have the Don't Say Gay bill, and it's just been
cray. It's cray.
It's just cray. And I'm like, listen, I don't know how, having trans kids in your classroom affects your ability to teach math, but apparently it's a big deal. I guess.
I was a history teacher too. So, and you can understand that too, that you're accused of being a Democrat, accused of being a Republican, no matter what you say, because you're leaving something out, and it's the attempts to rewrite history just really gets me mad,
Yeah. And that, it's sad and it's frustrating. And I understand, I get why, I understand it as much as I can as an outsider, looking in of why this is happening. But at the same time, I think it's a little silly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. And, to be a history nerd right now, I want to know why you came up with the title "FreeThinkers Fireside," because I'm gonna bring Fireside.
Not because of FDR.
You knew I was going there.
I didn't. That was a side effect.
Okay.
The double F's was because I like alliteration.
Hey, that's good.
And I kind of I wanted to do something very different than a lot of skeptical atheist content out there. There's plenty of people that are debunking religion, talking about deconstruction, doing history of religion, and and also teaching skepticism and what being an atheist is and things like that. And I think that's great. I volunteered for Recovering from Religion. I volunteered for the Atheist Community of Austin. So I get it. But when I decided to do this channel, I just wanted to talk to people and find out their backgrounds and the things that they cared about. Because I also was thinking that it's good to just see people as people. We're, that's what we are at the end of the day. Being an atheist or a free thinker is just a position we hold. It doesn't say anything about, who we are as people and the things that we worry and carry about. So that's kind of where I came up with the idea. And I just told my guests, we'll talk about whatever you want for an hour and a half. It doesn't even have to be about skepticism. If you want to talk about the Lord of the Rings for an hour and a half, we can do that. So just don't talk to me about sports, because that's not going to go well.
Well, this weekend, a lot of people are like setting up their fantasy football rosters and all that. So, hey, and I do enjoy that, but we don't need to go there. Okay. We don't.
Listen, I'm not going to dumb your yum. If that makes you happy, great. I just don't. Me and my husband are music people. He's a musician. That's like our thing that we're into. Sweet. So, and I'm into like stories and films, and like that's like my hobby and things that I'm really into, and D&D. So like everybody's got a thing.
So
my God, I'm a nerd.
My household, we're really eclectic, okay? Because yes, we like the sports stuff and all that, but like my wife, she loves watching golf. She doesn't play golf. Who knew, right? I'm more of a frisbee golf person because
my husband loves frisbee golf.
Yeah, well, it's a lot cheaper. There's not a dress code, Yeah. So that's cool. See, look, there's a connection. And then as far as music, my wife's a retired choir director, so we've got a huge variety of musical tastes and loves, and we love Broadway and all of that stuff. So I'm right with you on that one.
Yeah, my husband is a bassist, and he loves his Swedish death metal and melodic death metal and black metal.
Swedish death metal. All right.
Swedish death metal.
It's his own genre. I was just saying I'm eclectic, right? But I have not added that to my palette yet.
I will send you some shit.
Okay, good. I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
There's some really, really good bands out there, so I'll send you some stuff. But like that's kind of like, he's actually I didn't think I would like the what I call angry penis music, where I just feel like there's a man yelling at me in some form. But some of it's really good, though. Like I turn it on to like listen to like 90s like sad vagina music. Like I'm making him listen to like
And I'm trying
Apple and Tori Amos. So I'm like, here, listen to this. It's sad vagina.
Oh yes, Tori Amos, man, and great stuff. But yeah, there's only so many songs you can hear before you feel really, I don't want to say depressed, but just like
it's
chaotic or something. It's a mood. But man, she's the song Winter. That's
I've seen her perform live 5 times.
Hey, doesn't she like? All right. Hey, this is like uncensored, right?
Yeah, you can say what you want.
Okay, good. So
just don't say slurs. I don't want to get too much.
Oh, no, that's cool. But I once heard that.
I don't think you would, but I try to vet people before I have them on. But
no, it's good. But I hear she like really gets into it on stage, if you know what I mean. Am I wrong on that? Do you know what I mean or not?
Yes. No, I have no, but she is a very passionate performer. But as far as like,
I won't say anything more.
something like, being very close with the piano bench has not.
That's what I was referring to. Okay.
Yeah,
and you know what?
No, but she is a very passionate and very talented performer.
But there is something to be said about somebody who's not ashamed.
No, I mean, like, she's very sexual, but it's not to the point where you're like uncomfortable, because there are kids that come to her shows. So
I did forget about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey AJ.
Can I bring in one more history thing, and then we'll keep moving?
Yes, you can absolutely. Tell me some history.
Well, it's back to FDR and fireside chats. Okay, and famous quote of FDR is, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself." You've heard that before, right?
Yes.
And so I think that's what you're doing here, is you're kind of breaking down some of those barriers of fear of people being able to just be themselves, to disclose skeptical thoughts, to just kind of like put their guard down. And that's what I think of when I'm sitting around a fire with a whiskey, is I'm really getting to know somebody. And that's cool what you're doing. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That was the goal.
I just heard your cat.
Oh yeah, that is That's my catnips, never clean. She's letting me know that she wants out of the bedroom. So give me one moment. I have to go.
Oh yeah, no problem. And while you do that, I'll tell them about my dogs, because my dog is right here at my feet, and I'm pretty sure she needs to go out too, because she just let out a dog fart, and it is terrible. What a silent way to let me know that she needs to go out.
Yeah.
But she'll say no. She's saying no. I don't. I'm just trying to keep.
You want to go let the pupper out so she doesn't keep farting?
She's fine.
Oh, thanks, Scott.
I will shut the blinds though, because the sun's coming in. As
okay, that's fair. God, I'm telling you guys, like when I went to the ACA Backroads 2 weeks ago, and I was in El Paso as well, and visiting some friends, and my throat ever since has like just been scratchy. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can. You
sound good to me, but I know my voice is tired too.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Like it sounded really bad last week. It is getting better, but it's still like scratchy. And I was hoping it would make me sound like kind of husky and sexy, but it just sounds like I have a cold. so there's that.
It's sexy for somebody, I'm sure. So
it's sexy for somebody. Yeah, exactly.
My voice is probably a little lower than it usually is.
Yeah.
So I've been talking all week.
So for people that don't know about your content, like what kind of things do you talk about on your podcast?
Sure. So funny you say that. There's been 2 seasons. Season 1, I think the idea was, you know how people talk about their testimony? They're like, hey,
yes.
I want to tell you my testimony with the Lord or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought of it more as a questimony.
Mm-hmm.
I
like that.
Yeah, when I look back, especially now as I'm getting closer to 50. But you know, when you look back, I think of the different mile markers along the way of what the hell was that? You know, when I was a kid and this happened, and then this guy was trying to lure people into a school bus to go to church, and he was I lived in an apartment complex, okay, and he's saying, hey, I've got candy, you just need to come to this bus and we're going to bring you to church for a fun summer event. Now, this is already strange, right? But then he would say, hey, you just need to get your parents' permission. So I ran over to my apartment, knocked on the door and said, Mom, I'm going to a church thing. And I ran right back out. I'm like 8 years old or something like that. I didn't even wait for her to say, okay. I don't even think she heard me. I just wanted that candy bar. All right. So
wow.
Yeah, I got the candy bar. They took me to a church event. It was fine. They told me about some guy named Jesus and that he's my friend, but he's invisible. And then they brought me back. Now that's just the beginning of many different mile markers that made me scratch my head. And I'll tell you, I really did try. I tried to believe. You know, I didn't grow up in a religious household, but I had a lot of friends in a lot of churches. So I traveled around quite a bit, and it just never really fit. So season 1 was kind of like that testimony of growing up, different parts. I try to be funny with it. I had sound effects. I'm a bit of a storyteller. And then occasionally we do interviews as well. So you had Steve Giacottis on your show a little while ago. He's one of my first guests. So it's interspersed, you know, sometimes it's more of a quick storytelling and it kind of moves along through that testimony. And other times it's, hey, I'm at an atheist conference in Minneapolis and we're going to talk with some people there. So it kind of goes all over the place, but there's usually some sort of claim that's being debunked, just not really in an argumentative way, but more of it's funny they say that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny they say that. So I'm just stirring the pot a little bit, Ellen, and I have fun doing it. It's a creative outlet.
I think that's great. I think that stirring the pot with a little tongue in cheek is a good thing to do. like it makes the medicine go down a little sweeter, you know. Because I'm not an antagonistic type of person. I always say, like, some people need that. I tend not to be that way as a skeptic and as someone that, you know, can debate apologetics. But I'm not, like I always say, I'm not really interested in like trying to turn someone away from their faith. Like I feel that that's a personal thing. Because I don't fucking know. You know, I don't think it's real, but I don't know. But I'm more about like how your beliefs are affecting your behavior and how you're treating other people. And I think that's more important. And like, how's it affecting your worldview?
The human
Because like
things, right?
Because like a God debate, it's just like, okay, we have a difference of philosophy, but as far as like how you're existing in the world and how you're treating your fellow human beings and yourself, that's a different conversation we're having, because then we're having a conversation about ethics. And I think that's a more interesting conversation than like if a God exists or not.
Agreed. And I think the human experience is kind of what can connect people. Like, hey, I'm connecting to this person over this event or this feeling that you're having, you know. So for example, I don't know if you've ever, well, I need to ask you, because I'm really just getting to know you, Helen. But growing up, what was your relationship to religion? Just in the first, let's say, 15 years of life.
So I was raised Catholic. But like my parents were pretty liberal Catholics. Like I went to church and I went to Catholic school for the first 8 years of my life, 8 years of schooling, 9 years actually, because I went to a Catholic preschool, so, and kindergarten, so 10, from 4 to 14.
Yeah,
I'm kind of Catholic, but my home life wasn't like, we went to church on Sunday, but it wasn't really a part of our lives. Like, we didn't read the Bible. We didn't, like, my parents were pretty secular. We took vacations. Like, nobody was scolded if they missed church. Like, my mom was pretty good about taking me to church on Sunday, which kind of made me, but my dad didn't have to go, and I thought that was hypocritical. But my dad's like, you're just gonna go to church with your mom, and I'd be like, oh, okay. Well,
get out of my hair. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just wanted him, his wife, and his children out of the house so he could like garden or watch Julia Child or something. Like, he just wanted.
Did you say garden?
Yeah, my dad was an avid
gardener. That's church right there. That's church. Is like, get away from me. Let me be outside. Yeah.
Yeah. That was nature was his church. So cool. That was my father. And then I left, but I started questioning in high school. I just knew, because like as a queer person and as a woman, like the whole thing just didn't compute in my brain. And then it was the 90s, and I got really into the occult and started studying like paganism when I was a teenager. But then when I actually became an adult, I left the Catholic Church in 2002 when the Spotlight sex abuse scandal happened, and that was all exposed in the Catholic Church. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm not staying a fuck around here. I'm going to go. And then I was pagan for 13 years, and I was a leader in the pagan community for 10.
Okay.
So I've been out of any sort of belief system for about 7 years now.
Okay. And I would say I've been out of a belief system for about 10 years, maybe a little bit more, but privately out. Like, it took a while to not just put words to it, but to actually be able to, you know. So I have a son who we adopted through Bethany Christian Services. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, and it's great. It's a great story. We still have a really close relationship with the family. It's an open adoption. But, you know, when they think, oh, we've released our birth son to this Christian couple, but now I'm having doubts about the whole thing. It's not so easy to say, hey, by the way, I don't think I'm Christian. You right. know, let alone to voice that to my wife, who's Christian. But secondly, to be able to now say that this family, our birth family, that we spend holidays together, we go on vacations together. I'm like, man, what are they going to think?
Right.
So it's just harder. Anyway, I kind of went to the end of the story on that. the reason why I was asking you though about your first 15 years, and I had a Catholic chapter as well. I sang in a Catholic choir for a few years because that's where my friends were, right? But anyway, just to kind of full circle here back to your first question, which was like, really, what is the show about? It's really more asking questions. And that's where the skeptical part comes in. Not cynical, not combative, but more kind of an innocent of, why did they say that? What, like we went to my twin brother and I, we went to a Wild at Heart. Have you heard of Wild at Heart before? Wild at Heart conference?
It sounds familiar. I probably did somewhere in the.
I'm sure some of your listeners have.
Religious things.
Yeah, it's very evangelical. It's a bunch of men getting together and go camping and shoot guns and be men, right? And
like the stuff that Scott Driscoll's into.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he'd be all over that, right? And so both he and I
just put those two. I know exactly where you're talking.
You know what? Then you got it, right? You got it. It's like, we are warriors. We're going to put on the armor of God. We're going to go fight the fight and, spiritual warfare and all this crap, right? But both my twin brother and I are similar in that we're always kind of like looking around going, what the hell are they doing? Like, what is this? And it was fun to do that together because you're not by yourself. And like in between sessions, we're like, this is strange, isn't it? Look what everyone's doing here. Is it us? Maybe it's us. Maybe we're not getting it, but some wild stuff. And then just the whole, and that's what turned me off too, is we're here to combat the world. We are the ones with the light around this fire. Everyone else is in the dark, and we need to go push that light outward. And
if you're not going to accept it, we're going to
weird stuff, Helen. Yeah, and by the way, grown men from 20s to 70s, like really speaking in tongues, praying out loud. Like that was a different world for me. That was definitely not part of my upbringing, but I think that was kind of the last straw for me, was seeing some of that going, I don't know about this. So it seems irrational. This seems creating fear in people,
So did you try on different religions when you were growing up, trying to like different forms of Christianity, or did you like look at Judaism or Buddhism or anything on your journey?
Now that I look back, I can say I did, because I remember there was a store called Spirit Dreams, and I was always kind of drawn to that. And I guess in some ways, how some people just really care about spirituality and meditation and the metaphysical and the big questions, I think I was angsty since I was a kid. So I always found, you probably heard people say they're a seeker. I think I was a seeker for a really long time. And and not that I'm not now, but it's so nice to just like take that weight off and go, who the fuck knows and who the fuck cares? Here's what I care about. Like for me, it has really simplified now, rather than the angsty questions. It's more of a, here's what I think is important, and the simpler the better. And cheers.
And cheers to that. So I had my anatomy. No, was it my anatomy? Yeah, my anatomy and anatomy professor when I was in college used to say, "Don't know, don't care." So, and I've always kind of like, "Don't know, don't care." So that made me think of that. It's very. Like, and for me, like, because my parents weren't super strict about it, and like also like there's a lot of science in my house. Like my dad bought me, this is how old I am, bought me an Encyclopedia Britannica, and like when I was in like I think I was early teenager, like 12, 13 years old. And I remember just sitting there, just reading it, like laying on a blanket in our hallway, just reading the encyclopedias. And and we would watch like Cosmos and like Nature and like PBS programming together. And I watched Star Trek and like, so
That's
there wasn't
awesome.
like, I know, right? So
Wow.
and then I would go to church. So when I went through, like when I left religion, it was just kind of like, and then like I went to school and then I went to college and studied psychology and philosophy. And then like everything just started to chip away. And then I was just like, okay, I'm like, this is all bullshit. So, and nobody knows. And that was, so I didn't go through like where I had, a lot of stories I've heard, even within my friend group, of people that like had a very hard time when they left religion. And I was just kind of like, but I didn't have any social consequences either. Like I still had all my friends and family. Everybody was just like, okay, you're not a believer anymore. I still love you. And it's like, cool. And then we just move on. So.
And, on my side of things, my family didn't grow up religious, but I was constantly at my friends' places. We didn't have people over at our house a ton. We were at a lot of other people's places. And so I would go to their church because that's where my friends are, right?
Yeah.
So, to get a little personal, I guess, I think there was a mental health side of things too. There's this, I must not be getting it. I must be a terrible person because everyone else around me seems to get it and I don't. What's wrong? What's wrong with me? So it was kind of like one of those things, I think, and just growing up and getting comfortable in my own skin and all of that. I wish I would have dropped it a lot longer ago, but I think with the adoption of my son, gosh, it was 20 years ago now. That was kind of like all right, now I'm going to get really serious. Like now I'm going to really make a decision because I just, I'm a dad now. I'm the leader of the family, they tell me, right? The spiritual leader of the family. So I got to guide my wife.
You're the top of the umbrella of protection.
That's exactly it. So I'm kind of like inherently feeling this pressure of it's time to buckle down. And I think that is what ultimately broke me because I buckled down and I read the Bible and I joined men's groups and I Bible studies and all that kind of stuff where it kind of like that series of 10 years, really, it was more of a gradual release, but by the end, I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is bullshit.
That is a good instinct.
But now I can't tell everybody, because I have a big friend group that's religious and my family who's religious. And so I guess I'm going to go back to what you said about social consequences, right? That's what I think is social consequences. I don't think it was now that I have met so many others like you have, I see the damage that's been done. And I think about how, gosh, I was only serious for about 10 years. I can't imagine being a pastor for 40 years and then coming to terms with, this might be bullshit, right? I can't imagine being disowned by my family like some of my friends or losing a job like some of my friends just because they dare ask a question, And that's I guess where my passion comes from to even doing stuff like this is I see the damage that's been done. And I think the friend group that maybe you and I have both kind of meeting more people, it's so like refreshing to be with people who don't have that on their agenda.
No, everybody, like I always say, like I can just, it's like, as long as you're not an asshole.
And yet there are assholes everywhere. We know
there's assholes everywhere, but like I try to not hang out with assholes. It's kind of on my it's like number one on my like who am I going to be friends with agenda is not to be friends with assholes or tolerate them. I don't got that type of time. I like my life to be pleasant. I am 48 years old. I am not interested in bullshit anymore.
I had a feeling you and I were close in age. You're talking about the 90s and stuff. I'm all over that. Yeah. Cool. So Tori Amos, come on, I'm right there.
Yeah, that's I'm just done. I have zero tolerance for bullshit. Zero. I'm done.
Nobody got time for that.
I'm tired and cranky and I'm perimenopausal. Like I'm done. So done. done with it.
And it's refreshing, isn't it? To be
It
able
is
to
very
have the
refreshing.
confidence.
Like, I mean, like several, like a couple of
Yeah.
my friends, like Kyle's here, AJ's here, Scott was here. Like, these are my buds, my people. Ugh.
Hey, look,
You
I
know?
just found the chat. How about that?
Yeah, you can interact with
Hi,
the chat.
people. I wasn't even looking. How about that? Hi, everybody. Anyway,
Yeah. So,
I
it's
bet
nice because
there's a
have,
lot
like,
of cool people here. Like
I know all the
no
cool,
bullshit kind, right?
like AJ has her own channel, Ways to Human, and which is also a really great channel. And Kyle does astrophotography, and I've been buying a lot of his crap.
You know
I
what?
just bought 2 new pictures I'm gonna put up in my bedroom.
Kyle, I know you. I bought one of yours too, and
there you go. See,
you were. I had one of your pictures as my cell phone background for months. You do great work, man. I love what you do. So
yeah, I have
great to
3,
see
and
you,
I
Kyle.
ordered 2 more, but we have to finish painting our bedroom. It's because I ran out of paint. So I have to buy more paint.
Well, Kyle, I've got another purchase coming because I was just telling my mom about your work this past weekend. You know, I'm the tech help around the house. You know, like I'm the sibling that's the closest, and you know, your parents. I know nothing about your parents, Helen, but they're probably around the same age as mine, and technology can be a big deal. So I help her out, and she was, you know how like your backgrounds on the computer will change automatically from time to time. And she's like, "Ooh, I love that. Oh, look at this space." And I'm like, "Oh man, I gotta introduce you to this guy named Kyle." And I showed several of the photos. And so anyway, Kyle, I'm bunny trail. I'm notorious for going on bunny trails, Helen. Keep me in line, okay?
Yeah, it's fine. This is why I don't like space. I say, like, okay, you are not the first or nor the last person to come on my show, and we were going to talk about one thing, and we never talk about it. Like when I had Ethan on, your friendly neighborhood atheist, I think we were going to talk about community building, and then we talked about polyamory and polysexuality and kink shit for an hour and a half. So we never got to talking about building community.
And that's probably when a bunch of people jumped onto the chat once that was being talked about.
Yeah, right? Usually if you talk about sex, it tends to attract an audience.
Oh, good. That's great. You said Ways to Human was another one, though? I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, that's AJ's channel.
So
yeah,
AJ, I'll check that out later.
Yeah, she does really good content.
Okay.
So,
great.
Yeah, so I know all the cool people.
I've always wanted to be in the cool group. I'm finally
you are in the cool group because you know me, and exactly. Automatically from knowing me, you're 20% cooler. It's science. So
awesome.
So per typical during my show, I have to pee.
Okay.
And I want to fill my drink, so I'm gonna get you to talk about what do you think the pros and cons of atheist activism is online? Since I will get us on topic for at least a little bit, and then I'll respond. I can because of my AirPods, I can hear you, so I'll let you do that.
Okay, good.
Okay, so you've done a podcast, so you can talk to the people.
Talk to the people. Let's do it. Okay. So now, while I have been a podcaster, I think this might be my first video live one. I have done probably 180-ish audio only shows. In fact, most of my podcasts have been produced and released later. So two podcasts I've done. One is called Rechoice Pod. That's RECHOICE pod.com. And that was 133 episodes. Every episode, the interviewee would pick the title. So it might be renew or reboot or recalibrate or retaliate. It was that. What was the moment in the person I was interviewing? What was the moment in their life that they chose different? So it was a pretty open topic, and it's still, I mean, that podcast ended in 2023 and it still gets a bunch of listens. So it's a very relatable show. That is where I kind of found out, though, some of the pros and cons of doing podcasting in general, because when it was a feel-good episode, oh, don't forget to wash your hands, Helen, okay? When it was a feel good episode, people were like, oh, that was awesome. I'm sharing it with my friends. But when I would tackle a tougher subject, such as atheism or LGBTQ issues in the classroom, I would get pushback. But then again, I would also get the most listens. And I also got the most, I guess, appreciation on those tougher episodes of thank you. I was waiting for somebody to say that, etc. And so that's partly why I ended that podcast and then opened this one, Funny You Say That, at skepticalscott.com, because I really wanted to dig in on tougher issues. But I have to use an anonymous name for that reason. So pros and cons, I guess. I'm going to say one of the great things about doing a show like this and like what Helen's doing, we get to meet cool people, damn it. Like awesome, cool people like you guys, but also the connections that are made to where, oh, wow, I'm not the only one who's thinking this, even though I live in a pretty conservative area of West Michigan. It's nice to know there are other people out there. And I think there's more people out there than any of us realize. It's just that we're not used to talking about these kind of issues. We kind of hold our cards to our chest. How was that? I kept it going for a while.
You did. I'm really proud of you. That was a very good job.
Thank you.
Well
Thank you.
It's a wonderful thing about having content creators when it's just like, hey, talk for 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes while I go do this. And I did wash my hands.
Okay, good job. So you were listening.
I did. I did wash my hands. I'm a professional.
Well, here's the other thing I really like about doing something.
I have a bidet.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
My hands.
You have
Okay.
a bidet.
I'm fancy.
Man, a bidet. BIDET, right? Bidet. I still haven't used one. I should try one.
They are amazing. It will change your life.
Where am I going to try one?
Like I think it was like a year or so ago. He posted on his Facebook like, "Hey, should we get one?" And my husband was like, "Get a bidet." I'm a promoter of the bidet.
I saw on TikTok
Change your life.
On TikTok once, this guy, it was a joke video, but it was about a guy buying a bidet for the first time, and like when it goes off, and he goes into a dreamland, and the Hallelujah chorus is going or whatever, right? So of course I'm curious now. I wonder what a bidet is like. But back to the topic.
I'm just letting you know
Yes.
that like the Japanese got it right with the bidets, and I highly recommend, because bidets are like commonplace in Japan, and I think they should be commonplace here. Doesn't mean you can't use toilet paper. I'm just saying that it's not the same. Like when I have to use regular toilet paper and wipe my butt, I'm just like, I miss my bidet.
Yes,
was that too personal? Nobody cares.
No, absolutely not. And I think about, I know I'm going to get really personal. We all can relate to this, okay? When toilet paper doesn't feel good anymore.
No.
Right? Where you're like, gosh, I wish I had a bidet right now.
Right.
So
everybody has those feelings.
Keep your anus healthy.
So change your life, everybody. Get a bidet. My friend Carr has a portable one because they travel a lot and they bring it with them, so they can.
Wow, now that's
serious. they're so they're even more. See, AJ in Argentina, they have bidets in all the bathrooms. See.
That's great.
Make bidets great again.
Hey, there's something I can get around.
There's something.
So to make America great again, we could make bidets.
We do bidets. I think that would make it.
It's not again. It's like for the first time. Anyway, we're behind.
No, we are behind. Okay, so
there's the slogan. We're behind.
We're behind. There we go. You didn't even have to think about it.
Dad joke extreme here, okay? Dad joke extreme. And this is where my wife would go, that was funny. Now stop. Like stop while you're ahead. Like don't keep going.
When I did TikTok lives and would debate people live on, and there was this guy that he was a Christian, but he was such a nice guy. And every time he would come every week and tell me at least one or two dad jokes. So, and I was like, yes, I want to hear dad jokes. which was really nice because like it would like he would make me laugh, and that's really good. So, I love a stupid dad joke.
Hey, can I do a quick brag on a dad joke? Just
yes, you can do a quick brag. Yes.
I feel very, very honored that Seth Andrews just recently put a dad joke out with my picture on it. I don't even think he knew it was me.
Oh, really?
And I was like one of my friends said, "Did you know you're on Seth's like feed?" I'm like, "How did that? I'm somebody now." Like, oh my gosh. And so what it was autocorrect made me say things I didn't.
I saw that one.
That was me. That was me with the coffee cup. And that's what, see, I told you. So
yes, I was like,
that just happened this week. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's cool. So cool. Anyway, there's my humor.
Listen, I guess that's the bar because like
he is the bar, man.
I met Seth through Recovering from Religion, and then I met him at Free Flow, and then he was on my show. He was one of the first guests on my show.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, so he's such a wonderful human being. But like, really like everybody, like I always talk about, because I think because he was one of the first people that I was like listening to when I was like listening to content, but I listened to him a lot because he was kind. He wasn't antagonistic. He wasn't saying like Christians were stupid assholes or whatever, which I don't like. You know, he was talking about, you know, that you can't reach people if you're an asshole. Like everybody's got a patient limit, you know, like I do too. You know, if you say something completely inerrant and ignorant and awful, like I will call your shit out. I have no patience for that. But as far as like talking about God, I have no problem with that. It's just when those beliefs, again, how is it affecting your worldview? Then we're going to have a conversation about that. And then if you say something that's sexist or bigoted or whatever, I tend not to like that very much. I tend to get mad.
Well, and Seth's relatable. You know, he's self-deprecating. Yep. He remembers what it was like to be a believer. So he's always very open about that. And he's even honest too with how, his relationships in his family aren't ideal. You know,
you're just gonna go have coffee with him. That's sweet.
Yeah. So he's self-deprecating, not self-defecating, hopefully, but self-deprecating.
No, don't do that. That's
like this dog.
Right you get old when you do that.
Yes.
So I was gonna respond to what you said.
Sure.
So like I do these lives, and one because I didn't want to edit.
Oh yes. So yeah, the topic podcaster. Of live versus produced, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. But I do think like watching a lot of the produced content, it's a lot cleaner. There's opportunities to correct what you say. You can write a script and to get like your thoughts out, and I think those are things that I don't do. And so I do like that form. I just don't have the patience for it.
Totally get it. Yeah.
The ADHD is not going to let me do that.
Well, and so, we were, everybody that's listening right now, that's one of the topics that we're going to talk about is all of my work really has been produced. Like I record a bunch of episodes on a Saturday and I slowly launch them out, right? And I heavily edit it. I mean, I don't have so heavily edit that it changes the message. I don't do that, but because I do want it to be, come across as real. But what I have found is that some of the people I get to interview, especially if it's their first time ever being interviewed, they love the lack of pressure of a live show. I'm sorry, of a non-live show. And the fact that I'm able to say, look, you're the first one that's going to hear this. You can suggest any other edits you want. In fact, you could tell me the day before, never mind, I don't want this out there. And I'm going to honor that. Right. So I think from a guest standpoint, it can be a little bit of a easier entry point. And yes, I would love to have like a Seth Andrews on my podcast. I've had Dave Warnock on my podcast. I've had a few other like kind of famous
Dave.
I love Dave. He's yeah. Anyway, I won't go into another bunny trail. There was a couple episodes on Rechoice that featured him.
I'm gonna have to bug him. I'll bug him.
Okay. Well, and I know he's not doing a ton of podcasts.
You love me.
But I guess what I'm saying here, though, Helen, is that yes, I love the idea of having some real famous people, but I love the idea of having average people on the show, because I think of the listeners, and most of us are not like a Seth Andrews with a golden voice, you know?
No.
Most of us are not so fast on our feet like an apologist or what's the opposite of an apologist? If an apologist defends the Bible, what's the other side? I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Like the atheist shows that you're talking about, of the ones that kind of put you off sometimes, where there's an argumentative, where it's like, I can listen to an argument, I guess, and they are entertaining. I will say that. But I also like the idea of just having a casual conversation, which I guess is one of the reasons why your show appealed to me, is that, hey, this is just people expressing where they're at and how they feel. That's a cool thing. So maybe both can be accomplished, live or produced. That can happen.
Yeah, critical thinker. What is that? The opposite from an apologist? No, because you can be an apologist and be a critical thinker. So
we'll just say an aggressive atheist or something.
Aggressive atheist. Passionate.
Yes.
Passionate. So, I lost my train of thought. Let me catch up with it. Okay.
That's okay. So we're kind of talking about live versus produced, right?
Yeah. The thing with doing live, though, is that I didn't, because if everybody knows it's live. So if you say something like and people are listening, and I'm not going to edit it later. I don't edit. Like, I told myself if I get to 500 subscribers, I might start doing shorts. Maybe.
And
I'm only at 217. It's fine.
That blows my mind to be able to go, hey, when we shut the show down today, it's already out there.
Yeah, it's done.
You don't have any more work to do. That's amazing too, right?
I'm done.
That's definitely a benefit.
I don't have to promote any sponsors yet. It is just what it is. Which is and I like it. And like, the thing is, though, like, I'm doing this like, because obviously I'm not trying to make money. I have a job. I do because I want to get to know people, and I want other people to get to know them. Also, people that don't have very big platforms, because I do know a lot of people in this community, and I'm hoping that if they see people on my show and it's a smaller channel, they can, get more into other avenues within the atheist skeptical sphere online. Right. And that event, because that's what I did, and then I met a lot of people, and, now a lot of people know who I am, not because I'm not famous in any sense of that word, but I know a lot of people in this community because I will invade your podcast and talk about things for as long as you want me to. Yeah. So, because I'm like, can I come on your podcast?
Well, I think about too that there is something that draws an audience when it's live. I mean, that's right now. Somebody went on Facebook and saw that this is live and clicked on it, probably because it's happening right now, and that's what's missing.
It's amazing because the chat, because you don't know how many people are watching.
Right, the chat feature. You're right.
The chat feature is great but then when I'm looking at it the next day, it'll be at like 93 views or something like that. Like it will tell me the viewer count, and I'm like, and then a few days will go by and it can go up to like 100 or whatever, and I'm like, that actually got more views than I thought it did. And like I have no. Thank you, Spark Perello. Thank you for the show. Welcome to the show. Hello. He's new. I don't know. Or they. I don't know who that is. Hello.
Hey, and I just saw my brother. So he's in the chat too. But to your point here too, like, there's definitely times that I jump on a live show or a TikTok or whatever just to engage on comment. Right? And so I sort of can do that, but it's always, hey, if you got feedback or you have a question, email me. And that's just not instantaneous, hey,
Dave, you got to come on my show, man.
The other thing I want to bring up too, would you classify yourself as an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm both. I'm very extroverted, but also the tism will want me to isolate, and I get very inward innards inward innards.
Go into your cave, right? Yeah.
I am very friendly, and I like to chat, and I love like the ADHD man, like give me a dopamine hit. Like I love having, this is why I also do this show, because like I love having new conversations, and I always learn something new whenever I do these things, either about the person or I learn a fun fact, whatever. So I think that makes my brain juice very happy. But also there are times, like usually on Thursdays, I try to stay in a pretty good mood because I don't want to cancel unless I'm sick. Um, but sometimes like I will become a hermit and I don't want anyone around me.
Yeah.
Like I want to sit in my little blanket and watch Alien Earth and just not talk to people.
Yeah. There's something really appealing about just turning up the speakers in a dark room, watching the TV. I go to a movie theater every now and then, and I love it because I usually go in the afternoon by myself. And I just like, I feel like it's all for me, and I can just escape for a while, right? It's just beautiful. But anyway, I'm more of an introvert. And that also might have something to do with why I do more of the production side versus the non-live, the live side, you know. The other part of it too, I think, Helen, is that my job, and again, I'm not going to talk specifically about my job, but part of my job is I have to be on for many hours.
Me too.
Right? And so then the last thing I want to do is, now let's do a show. Right? And so for me, I like the one-on-oneness of it's just you and me here. Oh, and by the way, it's going to be put out there later, and we might have listeners, right? But I always felt like if I had two people listen to it afterwards, well, at least I had a really great conversation.
Right.
Like that's the worst that happens, is I had a really great conversation with Helen today, right? And so when I took the pressure off of, oh, I got to get out there or something like that, that's also refreshing, is to just kind of release that and not worry about it. And it kind of, yes, I can be an introvert and an extrovert, but I'm definitely more introverted side. So I appreciate these conversations.
I do.
Easier going.
I like for my I work in elder care. I work for a company that's home health care, and I do a lot of matching people and talking. I'm on the phone all day long, and I'm talking to people all day long. This is actually conversations I want to have. So, because also
you don't want to talk
it's kind of
about
like
my
glorified
care?
babysitting what I do for work.
Right. Okay.
I'm glorified babies, and also I have to be people's counselors because I get to know people for so long and know about their families and stuff that like, I get verbally vomited on a lot, and I'm just like, okay,
you're a safe place. Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. I really don't want to hear about how your mom thinks that one of our caregivers is their husband. Like, I get that, but also like it pays bills. So,
well, and if you're not, if you show that you're not interested in their world, then they're going to stop coming to see you.
Right. And everybody likes me. So everybody's I'm very good at my job. I'm very, very good at my job, and I really like what I do. But when I'm here, like I'm my online spaces with my friends and people that I want to get to know, I'm actually having the conversations I want to have, and getting to know people. I want to know, because I think that at the end of the day, like, especially those of us that live in the skeptical atheist, humanist sphere, especially like those of us that live in the United States. Like
Mhm.
I'm like, I want my people,
Mhm.
and I have my everyday friends too that I see that are part of my everyday life, and like are going to come over and play D&D on Sunday. They're also in that vein, that those connections that, um,
Hey,
connections that don't happen very often, and I can't go to like a Panera Bread and just like have a conversation with somebody and go, hi, I'm an atheist. Like I could,
right.
but that's weird.
Well,
Like,
and it's funny too is that when us atheists get together, we don't even necessarily talk about that. We just know that's
no.
like there's just no agenda. Again, we're not proselytizing. It's like we've set that aside and now we can like focus on the really important stuff. Now I'm not going to say it does happen sometimes that atheist stuff comes up because who else do we get to talk to, right? But in general, when you're playing D&D with your friends, and by the
Oh
way,
no,
my
like
son would totally play D&D with you. Just saying, I
I know.
I don't know how to play D&D.
I'm running a campaign right now based
Are
on the
you?
apocalypse.
You're what is it called?
I'm a dungeon master.
You're dungeon master. Like
Yeah.
Dan, excuse me. My son like surpassed me so long ago in that sphere. I wish I could participate, but every Sunday night and every Wednesday he's doing that. So pretty cool.
It's my favorite hobby. I love
Is
it.
it?
I'm my friends are coming over on Sunday, and my oldest was like, "Did you write the next part of the campaign?" I'm like, "I'm going to do that on Saturday," and they go, "Day before," and I go, "Yep, it's the ADHD way." I'm like, procrastinate. It's what
Well,
I did in college.
my son has ADHD
Procrastinate till
too.
I got
Maybe
to
there's
the end,
something with
and just spit
Could
out
be
stuff.
something to that. But how creative though, right? What a creative thing to do.
I stew things in my brain for a while, but then writing it all down is at the last minute. Like it's not like I'm not thinking about it and like cataloging things. How I wrote papers. I just
It's
that
motivating when you have a deadline.
it's well
Yeah.
like I wrote my thesis in a week because I had all
I
these
won't tell anybody, and neither will anybody listening right now. We will not tell anybody that you wrote it in a week. That's amazing. Well, that's a gift. That's a gift that you can hyper focus like that.
Yeah, it is the ADHD. But
Hey, I'm sure
it is
my brother who's on the chat right now, I know people joke about this, right, Helen? That they're like, oh, you have ADHD? Yeah, I'm disorganized too, or what, right? But I'm like, I'm pretty sure I would be classified that. My wife tells me I should get tested. I can tell you that because they live with us and they know, right? Anyway,
I have like
yeah.
my husband has it. I see it like present, but it's a little different. Mine is
I
like
was going
the
to ask, how does it
inattentive.
present, right? How does it present for you?
Yeah, and it presents women in different in women than it does in men, just because of the way that we're socialized too, and we're very good at masking. But I do know, but I also like it's also my superpower because
Right.
you think that I'm not paying attention to you, and sometimes my brain does drift off, but I'm actually like somewhere in my brain I am paying attention to you, and
Mhm.
it's just that my brain tends to change the channel a little bit, and then it moves back. So, hi, Skeptic Philosophy, welcome to the show.
Well, and then you get two of us together that are the same way, and we're going all over.
Oh my
We go
God,
all over the place, right?
are
It's
you?
fun though.
Do you watch Brentley's content?
Who?
The Punk Apostate, Brentley.
Nope. I'm writing it
Okay,
down.
me and Brentley are really good friends, and
Okay.
he also has ADHD. And whenever we do a show together, it's chaos because we both talk really fast. We're both type of people that like our brains are going really quickly, and we're trying to get stuff out. And I always tell people, I'm like, welcome to an ADHD stream. And a lot of my friends have ADHD and like most of the people I know are neurodivergent. Like I have some neurotypical friends and like it's fine, but my neurodivergent friends are like, they get it. like they get it.
Yeah.
Like my brain's just weird, but it's also my superpower because I'm able to absorb a lot of information, and I will. I don't even remember how I pick up stuff, but then I'm just spewing it back, and I'm like, I don't know where I got that from. I'm like, I think I had a conversation with someone about that, which works well for the type of content that I do.
Well, when you say I like how you phrase it as a superpower.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, yes, it can really debilitate when it's on fire, right? But it's also a superpower in terms of what you're able to. I'm going to say the word accomplish. I know that it's this guilt thing of I got to get this accomplished, but I think a lot of great things happen in our brains, you know?
Well, and I know people have issues with like labels, but I'm like, it just tells you how your brain, like I just have a different brain, but everybody has a different brain than mine. But the way that the chemicals work in my brain is just different. Like we don't say like people that have diabetes, like if they have type 1 diabetes, and we don't say they're different. We just say that that there's something wrong with them. They just say that their body's different. It doesn't produce insulin the way that it's supposed to. My brain doesn't regulate serotonin and dopamine the way that it's supposed to. That's fine. And I have to be on medications. People that have diabetes, like your brain is part of your body. Mm-hmm. And I think that if people didn't treat people that have like mental health things going on, or just you have a different brain, then we wouldn't be worried so much about labels. Like I have ADHD, I have generalized anxiety disorder, I'm on the autism spectrum, and I have major depressive disorder. Better living through chemistry and therapy.
No, I don't take medication.
I don't have any shame about it because just my brain is different.
Well, and I sometimes wonder if I was to take medication for attention deficit, right?
Right.
I wonder what my new normal would be because I've had 50 years of adapting already. I'm hesitant this late in the game. You know what I mean?
I didn't go on meds till I was 44, and it changed my life.
Wow, really?
It changed my life. I was oh my God. I'm like, this is what it's like to like really focus and be able to function in a neurotypical world. Oh my God. Where have I been?
Well, I will say this. I do take some medication for anxiety, and it's amazing to me how leveled I feel. That the wheels spin really fast in my brain once I get anxious, right? And I now I know what it's like to be off of it too, like to be on it and then off, because I'm like, oh shoot, nope. Like I need to be back at that level. So it makes me wonder what that new normal would look like. And my son, and I don't think he minds me explaining this or suggesting it, you know, with his ADHD, when he was in school, it only took us 3 or 4 years to come to terms that he has it, when every teacher said, look, you don't understand. He needs a runway in class. He has a runway where he can be. He just can't interfere with others, right? We were told over and over again. But see, when it's just us as parents and him, we don't see it. When he's with 30 others, it's completely different, right? And so 3 of his teachers filled out this paperwork, and they all came up with the same score without talking to each other. We put him on the lowest dose, and that teacher said, night and day difference.
Right.
And again, we didn't necessarily see it because it's just the 3 of us. So that's when it really hit me. It was like, wow, okay, it's all about settings and where are you and what's around you and what's going on. And anyway, he's not on medication anymore, but I know it really helped him for several years when you're in a situation with so many people, you know?
It makes a huge difference just for me because I have found the perfect job. It is very busy, which is great because I get bored very quickly. And I get to help people, which I really like to do. But also I have to be organized and focused where the Adderall is what I need that for. So, and I know it's like not to be on it because my brain just is it is the channel will not stop and it keeps changing, and unless I become very hyper focused. Other than that, the Adderall just gets me through the day. I love it, but also too, like I had when you have something like this, like you also have to be an advocate for yourself. Like I have to listen to music when I work. I like silence gives me anxiety. I have to be able to block certain things out. I have to have certain lighting. Like there's certain things that I need, and you just have to be an advocate for yourself. And I go, I am luckily my employer understood that. And as long as I have those things, I function very well in my job. When I don't have them, it's not going to go well.
Yeah. So it's not having your employer see it as, oh, we have to accommodate you, or you need a crutch or something like that. It's like, no, this is just, if you want me in my sweet spot, here's what I need. You give me what I need, I'm going to produce. That's why, yeah.
Like, so I'm getting on that, like, on that topic about, as a content creator, what kind of benefits do you think like what skills, one, have you learned since becoming a content creator that you didn't know you possessed, and now you're really glad that you did? And two, what are some lessons that you learned along the way as a content creator?
Great questions. I think I've learned that to set the stage with people when I have somebody on my show. So for example, when you sent me an email of, hey, I need some headshots. What are some potential topics we could talk about? Things like that really help set the stage and reduce the anxiety of somebody who I'm about to bring on. So I remember that whenever I have a guest, like, hey, what is it that they might be feeling? How can I address that? Take care of their needs. That's one thing. Secondly, I've learned that there are a lot of people who process later. And I'm talking about listeners primarily. There are a lot of listeners that there's a reason why they're putting their headphones on and listening rather than, I don't know, they've got a lot of things that they feel like they have to keep hidden. And so that to hear somebody express themselves where they're like, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one. That's the type of feedback that really keeps me going, Helen, is when I just get the occasional message of, thank you for saying what I've been thinking forever. When people realize I think what drives me is that connection piece. We want to be connected and know we're not the only ones thinking what we're thinking.
Right.
So I've learned that, and that's why I've kind of dug into this particular topic of free thinking, atheism, skepticism. There are many more of us than we realize. And by the way, it could be your next door neighbor. We still talk about it,
somebody found my channel. I found out that he lived in Port Charlotte. And he was an atheist, and he didn't think there was other atheists around. And I was like, what?
Right. And I've had that happen too. In fact, one, again, without naming the company or the group that I'm with, my employment is based out of Texas. Okay. And we all know that the stereotype of Texas in terms of religion and spirituality and all of that. Right. So I was really afraid and this was with my first podcast, I was really afraid to tackle the topic of atheism. In fact, the title of that episode was Choosing Out of Christianity. That's pretty clear, right?
Yeah.
That was very public. That was attached with my actual name and everything. That's the one that got a ton of flack for it, right? And from friends who I work with, spoke up on that one, said, I'm not going to listen to your show anymore, But at the same time, I had just one or two that I work with that reached out to me and said, OMG, thank you for expressing that. I thought I was by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was the only one. So that they're disconnected. And
Yeah.
so now to go into this new podcast called Funny You Say That with Skeptical Scott and friends
Right.
at skepticalscott.com. There's been just
Doobly-doo.
so many
And the
more
doobly-doo,
people.
guys.
Yeah, there are so many more people out there than we realize. So and by the way, this is getting to me right now. So if I have drifted off of the
Oh, it's
topic,
fine.
let me know.
You're just in the pool, man. Like I'm actually not surprised that I am not a little bit tipsy because the vodka has not kicked in yet.
Oh,
But it will eventually.
Look, I'm even a little red, but it's also
That's fine. You're right at home. We're
nice,
we're having a conversation, having a couple of drinks. It's all good.
it is. We're around the fire.
I'm not drinking wine, which I'm off my game, guys. I'm so sorry. Usually I drink wine when I do this show. So
right before a holiday weekend, we're all good.
Yeah, exactly. So I think also too, like the reason why I wanted to do this show is because like I said, I wanted people just to know that they're just people like you that care about the things that you care about or want to know about the things you want to know about, that have a whole bunch of different opinions and ideas. Some of them you're going to agree with and some of them you're not, but the idea is that exposure, get used to people that don't think like you.
Well, can I ask you, why do you think it is that so many people feel like on the skeptical side of things that we had to hide? Why do you feel like a lot of people have felt like they've had to hide?
I think that even if you live in the United States and you're not religious, there's shame associated with that because there's social pressure. Because even if you're like, I'm very privileged that I am out. I can be out at work. I can be out about being queer. I can be out about being an atheist because I formed these relationships over the past couple of years. Nobody cares though. Like, if you want to talk about it, fine, but like, we don't really talk about this type of crap. There's like 5 people in my office and we're not really talking about that. I got too much to do. But I can be free about it if you want to know. But other people don't, even if they're skeptics, and even if, like you said, like you have a podcast, but you can't really be out at work. I think that there's a social stigma that comes with it. Because if you say that, like, well, I'm not sure if a God exists, or I don't think that maybe I do think women should have the right to choose, and I don't think life begins at conception or whatever it is. People have strong opinions about those things. And
yet one side
views,
gets to share,
right?
And one side, just by you asking a question, you're attacking me.
Yeah, it's like, well, I just want to know why you think life starts at conception. Like, I just want to know why you have that view. And I think it's because they're expecting an attack. And it's like, listen, I'm like, not everything is a TikTok video, man. like I just am asking you a question because I want to know your thinking process and how you got there. It's when it turns into, because like, I don't like to attack people. Like, I don't like that feeling. I don't like being attacked. I don't want to do that to people. I only do it when you act like an asshole, because then you deserve it.
but I hate that asking a question that means you're an asshole. And I guess I think Christian privilege exists, is what I'm trying to say.
It does.
Meaning, like, some people that I work with can easily say, hey, isn't this a wonderful thing that happened at our church? Please pray for so-and-so. God is our, like, they can spout all day long and there's no penalty. Like, it's in fact, not only is there no penalty, you're rewarded for it. Right? But then if I say something different, you're attacking me, or you shouldn't say that, or that's disrespectful. It's just amazing to me that people don't always, or people can't see the privileged position that they're in.
What's the when you're in a position of privilege, equality looks like oppression.
Exactly. That's
And I'm
exactly
like,
very good, Alan. Yeah.
yeah,
That's exactly
yeah.
what's going on.
I don't know if I said that, but that's a
No, it
quote that
totally makes
I've
sense.
always really, really, you know, and I remind that about myself because I'm white living in the United States, so that's a good quote to remind myself that I'm in a slight position of privilege, small, but it's there. But
Right.
but I think for religious people, especially Christians and Catholics, they've been the dominant voices in most of public life. And then they meet someone, even if they're like if they're Jewish or Muslim, at least they're like, well, at least they believe in God. At least they have kind of belief, you know. And some of them are bigots and terrible, but other people just like don't care. But if you're the atheist,
Right.
either
Right.
you're accused of hating God, and I'm like,
The
you can't hate
stereotype.
something
Yeah.
that I don't think exists.
Why do you hate
like
God so
hating,
much? Yeah.
yeah, I'm like it's like me hating Saruman. Like I'm like, I got feelings about Saruman. Hate's a strong word. Like I hate Stephen Miller. Like I hate him, but I have good reason to hate Stephen Miller. He's a terrible human being. But Saruman, I'm like, it's like I think he's a bad guy, but I don't viscerally hate him. You know, God is. I'm like, I don't hate God. I just don't think he exists. I think these are just stories. You know, if you have a way to show me he exists, then we can have a different conversation. But that
That'd be
doesn't mean I'm
great.
going to worship
Yeah.
him either, because I don't worship anybody.
You can't even
like,
ask that question, though, Helen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't even ask for evidence.
No, you can't even get out. Like,
how dare you, right?
And I'm like, I just don't think your God exists. And they're like, why? And then they're like offended. It's amazing how it goes to offense. Like, you don't think the same way I do. So that says something about me. And I'm like, no, I just have a different position than you do. It says nothing about who you are as a person. But I get it. Prefrontal cortex beliefs are your personality. It's what you believe about yourself.
Well, and so sometimes when we're in these positions, I'm talking about myself now, but when I have felt the, I don't know, frustration of those feelings of not being able to express, or how politics and religion mix together and explain someone's political position, and I'm just like, how can you think that, right? I have to laugh a little. Like for therapy, I have to laugh. And so part of the reason why I do this podcast called Funny You Say That.
Funny.
Is I have to laugh at this a little bit, right? And in fact, are you on TikTok at all?
I am.
Like, do you explore a little bit?
I don't know what it is about being the tiki-taki. Like,
Tiki-taki.
I'll occasionally scroll through. But
I get lost.
Like everybody keeps telling me, like, you should put your content on TikTok, and I'm like,
well, I don't. Well, I guess I do put some content on TikTok.
Occasionally I'll scroll through,
but I mostly scroll.
My roommate does, and they'll show me videos on TikTok and stuff like that, and I'm like, cool.
Well, here's why I'm asking, because on my show, I discovered these two people who are amazing. Their real names are Joshua and Prez. But their TikTok names are Tristan and Sage.
Okay.
And they're the typical Christian couple. So on TikTok, they're a bit like, as a satire, they're kind of having fun with it. Anyway, they're worship leaders. They're changing lyrics. They're absolutely hilarious. And that I guess, again, so my podcast, there's sometimes some serious stuff. Like there's parts where I talk a little bit about my mental health and how religion actually did not help that. It actually made it worse.
Yeah.
But then there's other episodes that are just hilarious. Like you can only laugh at it.
Right.
So that's kind of like, that's why I like, again, it's the creativity part of it. There's a part of me that I don't even want to look at who's listened to this, how many. I'm having so much fun doing it. Like it's meaningful, you know?
Yeah, I do this because it's fun. I
It's
wouldn't
fun.
do it if I didn't enjoy it. I love doing this.
Yeah.
I just love meeting new people or people that I'm friends with and just talking for an hour and a half. And it meanders. Like when Neil, the 604 Atheist, was on, we started talking about his deconversion stories. And then it veered off and we talked about Legos. And we
Or
talked
in
a
our
little bit
case,
about the difference between Canada and
ADHD.
America.
Right. Yeah.
Well, if you get neon Legos, like he has streams where he
Yeah.
talks, but he's just building something with the Legos, and he just chit chats back and forth, and it's very chill. It's a very fun stream,
Yeah.
So, I've been debating like if I want to start like a Twitch channel and just play a video game and just invite people, like play like.
I think that's weird. I don't get that. Now that's what my son does. He's not on social media, or what, as I call it, social mania. He's not on social media, but he is definitely on YouTube, and he's constantly watching people play video games. And like in my brain, I'm like, don't you want to play the video game? Like, what is it about watching?
Not every video game I want to buy. So I kind of want to like watch it. Also the ADHD thing is a thing with me with video games. Like I'm playing 4 games right now. I'm playing Made of Scare, Silent Hill 2, the Blueprints, and I'm playing I'm playing chess.
So do you think that
I'm learning to play chess on my PS5?
I will say this. What I've noticed sometimes is when, and again, I don't watch a lot of this. So understand that, I guess. But when I'm watching somebody play a video game and they're streaming it, they're also talking about something completely different.
Yeah.
And that's kind of maybe that's a part of the draw too, is that when I'm so focused on something that I can have this constant thought stream over here, it's kind of interesting.
Oh, when I'm playing, like I love playing a video game with like if my kids in the room and my roommate and I'm making comments about it or I'm talking about something completely different and I'm just playing the game as like something to do. And sometimes I'm commenting on the game or I'm making fun of something or I'm talking about something completely different. It just gives my brain something to do.
Right.
Why I'm having this stream of consciousness just spit out of my mouth.
Consciousness. That's what it is.
But everybody else in my family, everybody else that lives in my house is neurodivergent. Everybody has ADHD, so everybody gets it.
That's funny.
It's how we roll in the green household. Okay. So.
Well, those of you with teenagers, you can kind of understand too that sometimes looking directly into the eyes of your teenager and trying to have a conversation doesn't work very well. But when they're in the back seat of the car and you're both not looking at each other, all of a sudden the stream of conversation can happen. So maybe it's something like that going on. I don't know.
I think also too, like if you're ADHD and you're on the spectrum, like direct eye contact can make me a little bit like I'm constantly like looking around because like direct can make me feel nervous. So I'm constantly like looking around at things. It's not because I'm not paying attention to you. It's just weird.
Hey, do you want to hear something a little funny?
Okay. No, I don't. I don't want to hear.
Oh, sorry. Funny. All right. Well, I'll see you later. No.
Bye. Okay.
When we went through the pandemic, and all of a sudden, all schools had to switch to virtual. Right. Mm-hmm. I had googly eyes next to the camera here, as a reminder to keep looking at the camera.
Oh, right? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Connect. Right. Instead of, yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing. Right. My nature right now is to look down here at you. Right. But for whatever reason, the communication through here.
Well, like you're like here on this here, you're over here. Okay. Thank you for having your not married. So you're over here. So like my camera's here, up here. So I'm looking at you and my eyes keep going this way. So
it's just funny that I needed googly eyes to remind me that as well.
But also like my chat's going and then like
yeah, that's true.
And it's my
such as Cobra Kai or Miyagi-Do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, do you have a choice on that one? Cobra Kai or Miyagi-Do?
Miyagi-Do.
Okay, of course, yes. Though I will say, what I don't remember his name. The blonde guy that does, I can't remember. The guy who was the bad guy in the first Karate Kid. He's pretty funny in Cobra Kai. I think he's a really good character. I get sucked into Disney Cobra Kai. I can't believe it. It's so cheesy. It's so good.
But like, listen, you like this is the thing though. Like, I love some like weird, silly shit. So, okay, so, let's see. Is it John Kreese?
Oh yeah, John Kreese.
Yeah, who is played by Martin Cove. So, thank you, Wikipedia.
He's like the Kreese is the older guy. I'm talking about the younger guy, the blonde guy that got crane kicked at the beginning in the first one. Hey, let's not go there. That's another side. We're gonna go.
No, it's Johnny. Yeah,
Lawrence. That's it. Okay, there we go.
Thank you, Wikipedia. I'm this person. Like, you mentioned something, like I can't remember this thing, and I'm like, I'll look it up.
That's true. That's great. I don't know why I didn't look it up, but oh well.
I just do it because I want to know it too, because then it'll bug me. So that's how that works.
Helen, anything else you want to ask about? Anything? I can't believe we've already gone an hour and a half.
I know that's how it goes.
Flew right by.
You can come back. Like I mean, like I'm gonna go eat dinner, and my roommate had a wine tasting at work tonight and brought a bunch of wine home. So guess what I'm gonna do?
Sounds awesome. Yeah, I'm going. Well, I'm going to let my farting dog outside. That's what I'm going to do.
That's what you're going to do. Okay. So, tell the people again who you are, where to find you. Why should they subscribe to you and watch your shit?
Okay. My name is Skeptical Scott. You can find me on Funny You Say That is the name of the show. But if you need a quick way to go to skepticalscott.com. Also, I believe in the show notes, you're providing my link tree. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And yes, my link tree will have all of the channels. Yes, I'm on YouTube, but it's just really a static photo with the audio. So if you're somebody that you don't really watch the video, you'll only listen to the audio, then that'll work really well for you. But skepticalscott.com is probably the best place to go, because it will give you really a quick glimpse of who was on the show, what was the topic, what part of the questimony was it, and I think you'll find it entertaining and fun. So thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much for being on. I'll have you on again.
I appreciate that.
This is an open invite. If you would like to be on the show or know someone, email me here. Next week, I have Puck, who is active. He's more of a Twitch streamer, but I know him through the atheist community of Austin. What are we going to talk about? No fucking idea. and then Changing Winds. James will be on the 11th. And then the following week, Rob Palmer from Recovering from Religion. And he's at Dragon Con. He's going to Dragon Con this weekend, talking about skeptic stuff. Am I jealous? Yes. Very jealous. I want to go to Dragon Con. Anyway.
Well, that's a whole. Maybe that's what we could talk about. We could talk about that next time. Why go to a conference? Because that's
why go to a conference. That'd be a good conversation.
I freaking love it. So my tagline at the end of my show is this: it's drop the supernatural, embrace the rational, believe in as many true things as possible, and find some friends along the way. That's really what this is about at my show. So, Helen, thank you. And I look forward to meeting you in 3D someday.
Yes, that would be wonderful. And I give really good hugs. So.
Oh, good. Open hug. I'm an open hugger.
Open hug.
So even though it's from Michigan to Florida, hands across America. Hands across America. All right. Thank you.
So thank you everybody for being here. I will see you next Thursday. In the meantime, stay kind, stay skeptical, give someone a compliment, and I will see you all here next Thursday. Bye.
Deuces.
Peace. Peace out, y'all.
Yo.